Tally-ho, it's Ocean, KingFishOcean, I get them mixed up every time. Either way, back again with more Doki Doki Lit Club. And yeah, so this is the start of the desktop menu for anyone that doesn't know. So I just decided to boot up here, to start up here, because we are up to that part of the game. We're up to that part of the game where things are going to get real fucking weird. And I'm very nervous. I am actually genuinely quite anxious right now about this. But apparently we have a new picture somewhere. Oh, there we are. We have this new sketch. And I actually got this because I attempted to load a save file after Sayori's death. That's pretty funny. Not funny. That's pretty cool, should I say. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Jesus. I didn't mean funny. I meant to say cool. My mouth just says dumb words. Dumb things sometimes. But yeah, anyway, so I think that's all the new stuff. Yeah, it seems. Wait, what was that one on the bottom? 1 second. I will get into the game in a second. It's just, this is new stuff, so I kind of want to look at this. Review the file, poem words for any anomalies. Anomalies? What? I'm also curious because when you start this up, it actually starts up this thing called Metaverse Solutions, which makes me wonder if this is part of a bigger thing, or if it's just being meta for the sake of being meta. Also, it keeps saying I have mail, and I haven't had a single piece of mail, so I'm not really sure what any of that is about. Well, it's time. I'm actually really nervous because I don't remember all the stuff that happens. I don't remember everything that is possible to happen, should I say. And I'm aware. Wait, what? What do you mean starting a new game? I saved on a new game. What? Alright, sure. I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she just doesn't care. Like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's gonna chase after me like this, I feel almost better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let catch up to me. Oh god. Yeah. Okay. Oh fuck. Alright, give me a minute, I forgot to turn the banners back off again. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that, I guess. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there will be any girls in it anyway. You'd be surprised, Natsuki would probably fucking join the anime club, but who cares about Natsuki? She's the worst. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs, spades, diamonds, so many different shapes. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them will probably be way too demanding for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Shinsuke? Oh, hi. Monika? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Yeah, I guess it has. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other, well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... Anyway, what did you come in here for anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for some supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? About that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. Feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. It's the sex club. I mean, the literature club. We smoke weed there. Literature? That sounds kind of dope. I mean, dull. The audio just randomly cut out. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. I don't like the fact that the audio has just died. Well, I can see that. It's really not boring at all, you know? 1 minute. Right, it is part of the game then. I wasn't sure if the game maybe just glitched for a second then. Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps her manga collection in the class in the club room. What an idiot. I mean, I'm joking. Actually, I like manga. Manga's pretty cool. I just don't like Natsuki. Wait, really? Yeah, it's pretty funny, right? I just noticed there's a computer in the background. That's interesting. I never noticed that before. Small details. She always insists that manga is literature, too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? I feel like the game is actually bugging out right now. I do not remember the music cutting at this point. Like, I genuinely do not remember it ever cutting. I am wondering, though, if maybe it's something new. This is why I'm nervous about this. Because, for anyone that doesn't know, things are about to get real spooky and real weird and real crazy. And because this is a new version of the game, I'm not sure if the creators have been little tricksters and added some new stuff in there to throw people off guard. So that people that think they know everything that's going to happen, new stuff might happen that completely throws them off guard. And that makes me super anxious. Did Monika just say she? Hey, Shinsuke? By any chance, you still looking for a club to join? I mean, I guess so, but in that case, is there any chance that you could do me a big favor? I want to ask you to join, but if you could at the very least visit my club, it would make me really happy. Please? Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monika? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Awesome! You're really sweet, Shinsuke. Did you know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go, then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible bosom. I mean, smile. I dejectedly follow Monika across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Okay, cool. I guess maybe it was supposed to cut that. I don't remember it ever doing that in the original version of the game. I'm back, and I brought a guest with me. What? What just happened? There's new stuff here. No. There's new stuff. I do not ever remember seeing that happen. Some of this stuff could just be a chance happening that I didn't have in the original game, because there is actually RNG to some of the stuff that's happening, which makes it so much more interesting. A guest? Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be a little bitch, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Shinsuke. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls apart from Natsuki. So let me guess, you're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, a vice president of this lovely place. I don't know why I just made up an extra line there, but whatever. It's nice to meet you. Yuri appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. The music just skipped there, but I can't actually tell if it did it or not, because it's been doing that a little bit for the main portion, for the original portion of the game. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So, I ran into Shinsuke in a classroom, and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika? Didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was gonna, well... Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Shinsuke? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. The weirdest thing is that Monika's no longer horny, and that's really odd. That's the biggest change here. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. We have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Of hating Natsuki. Monika must have worked really hard to find these two. Yuri returns to the table, carrying another tea-ah set. She carefully places a tea-ah cup in front of each of us before setting down the tea-ah pot in the middle. You keep a whole tea-ah set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teacher gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea always help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea-ah and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea-ah. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So Shinsuke, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. I'm super nervous because I don't know when the fuck something bad's gonna happen again. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader then, I guess. Well, that can always change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her tea-ah cup with a finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Okay, I can't get that random little skirt or whatever out of my head. The random, when Yuri popped up, it went, oh, all of a sudden. When this video is over, I am going to be having a look at that. I'm going to be reviewing that footage and seeing what the fuck happened, because I'm so confused as to what happened, and I want to see what it is. And then I'll talk about it probably in the next episode. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and tiamiad since the mimian taibakyan. What the fuck am I saying? But it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination and completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Same. Like, in this game, I mean. Oh, I did read Sweet Home. Japanese manhwa, I think it's pronounced. Pretty good. I enjoyed it. I read a horror book once. It was 50 Shades of Grey. I desperately grasped... Good God. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. With Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. Suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think it, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Because I'm fucking boring! Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right. You usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind in the last club meeting. Looked like you were working on a poem. Oh, I'm really windy right now. I feel like I'm windy every episode. It's like every time I start recording, my body starts doing things. My body's like, right, we need burps now. We need to burp. We're gonna have hiccups now. We're gonna yawn 1,000 times. Looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud! Get that back! Fine, fine, you little bitch. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess I do sometimes. Why do you care, Baka? Baka Jam Baka? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them, Baka. Oh, not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing. Form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing them the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. But next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everybody is even. I mean, I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Don't you agree, Shinsuke? Hold up. There's still one problem. Uh-huh? What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind this entire time. I never said that I was joining the club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected bosoms. I mean eyes. But... I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Shinsuke. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. I've been trying really hard to find new members. If we don't find one more before the festival... I'm defenseless against these girls apart from Natsuki. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible for letting everyone down in this situation. And besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. Don't know if I'd use that word, but okay. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls? Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the Lit Club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Shinsuke? Yeah, it could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. Shinsuke, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this, you're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Shinsuke, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside of me. Fucking relatable, but for completely different reasons. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the TR set. I don't know why I like calling it a TR set, it's just fun to me. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, see you tomorrow then, big boy. I can't wait. Wait, what? With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls. Natsuki, the bitch. Yuri, the shy one. And of course, Monika, the no longer horny but used to be horny devil. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstance, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. I guess that starts writing a poem tonight. Oh god. Alright. Things I like about Papa. Please don't fucking jump scare me while I'm reading this. I will actually turn this video off. I like when Papa comes home early. I like when Papa cooks me dinner. I like when Papa gives me allowance. I like when Papa asks me about my friends. I like when Papa asks me about anything. I like when Papa gives me lunch money. I like when Papa comes home before sundown. I like when Papa cooks. I like when Papa gives me privacy. I like when Papa doesn't tell me how to dress. I like when Papa doesn't comment on my friends. I like when he doesn't comment on my hobbies. I like when he comes home without waking me up. I like when he keeps food in the house. I like when he uses inside voice. I like when Papa leaves my stuff alone. I like when he accidentally drops coins in the couch. I like when Papa is too tired to notice me. I like when he's too tired for anything. I like when Papa is too tired for anything. I always get really nervous because how silent and how, like, uneasy those are. Right, we're gonna go for Yuri this time. Because fuck Natsuki. Not literally, she's the worst. So she likes spooky horror things. So, this shouldn't be too hard. Fuck. Secretive? Alright, cool. Agonizing. Yes, Judgment? Judgment! A fantastic game. Can't wait for Lost Judgment at the end of the year. I can't remember what entropy means, but that one, I guess. Aura is definitely a Yuri thing. Misery. Pain. That's me right now. Jumpy. Tragedy. Scars. Scars! Resident Evil, baby! Hopeless. Oh god. Intellectual, because she likes smart things. Eternity. Fester. Disaster. Anger could work, actually. Oh, fuck my fucking fuck! I was this close to getting a perfect Yuri poem. Fuck! Ah! Alright. And explode, whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. I hate this. I was so close, I was doing so good as well. Because there's achievements in this now for getting a perfect poem for almost every character. So I'm like, alright, for Sayori, Sayori, Yuri, and Natsuki. Hi again, Shinsuke. Oh, this... Okay. The back screen is slowly zooming in. Yay! Glad to see you didn't run away from us. No, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least keep my word. Also, the music's a higher pitch right now, which is weird. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone's already hanging out. Oh, but... Yeah, alright. Sure. Yuri, you had something on your face, but it's fine, you got it. You got it. Thanks for keeping your promise, Shinsuke. Hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you. Oh, it is! Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, okay. That actually scared me. That actually fucking got me. What the fuck? It was just a negative image. What the fuck? I feel like I've never played... There's the proper music again, but... I feel like I've never played this before, and I have played this before, and that's fucking wild. Also, not only is the background image zooming in, but it's actually tilting a little bit as well. It's representing me right now. Tilted. It's tilting my brain. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. You already had to be dragged here by Monika. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. If you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Alright. Hi, Monika. You're Alright, cool. She figured it out. Good job, Monika. Natsuki finds herself stuck between, say, Monika and manga. Manga's literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I think the images of the girls are actually zooming in and turning a bit as well. I don't remember that. I'm sorry, Shinsuke. I'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? That's a fucking lie. Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read. Well, can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now. Only feels right for me to do something like that, if you ask. Oh, wait. I didn't mean it like that. You don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. Oh no, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to get away from this club as much as possible. It's fucking freaking me out. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just feel like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. What I would like right now is not to be playing this game. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought maybe you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, snuggle. I mean, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. How is the screen still zooming in? Jesus Christ! I'm enthusiastic to take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Alright, it's returned back to normal. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monika to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in her bosom. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance to be buried in her bosom. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. Looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Oh, thank God. Another glance at me, and her eyes meet for a split second. ... Phase. That only makes her hide her face deeper in her bosom. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading. Yuri? Just... Yep. Your eyes kind of... Are you okay? Your eyes kind of floating. Your eyes kind of slowly moving. Actually, I think it might have... Nope, still going. Alright. I kind of want to see how far this can go. I want to see how far it will go before it stops. It's still going. Alright. I'm just reading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it as my eye floats away. Ah, there we go. Fixed it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious. How come your eye floats away from your head? And how come you have two copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious that Yuri isn't telling me. It's about her eye. But I decided to let it go, even though I really don't want to. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about then? Must protect that smile. Look at that. Adorable. Well, I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. It's probably Yuri's eye. It's actually... I'm not actually looking at the front cover. There's no eye on the front cover. When I'm looking at it, it's just Yuri's eye has floated onto the cover. Basically, it's about this religious camp that turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines with lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to— Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. Thanks, Yuri! I was gonna read that later. God damn it. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean. I'm pretty sure the story was not that fucking horrific originally. I swear she said it was like a ghost story before or something. Not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was gonna be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. Are you not a fan of those sorts of things, Shinsuke? I don't know how to answer that. No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that this kind of story, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Alright. And then suddenly John Cena. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest in your fucking satanic messages or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem where I say satanic messages for no reason and my eye kind of floats off my head. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. Alright, out of curiosity. Huh. Alright, the history shows you nothing interesting. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. Just worry about your eye floating off your head. That means you're passionate about reading and Satan. The least I can do is listen, and try to read as fast as I can because it disappears very quickly. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, might as well get started reading it, right? Okay. Ooh, hey! We're having a great time here, aren't we, people? Wow. Woo! Alright. I have seen every scare that the original version of the game could muster, and it still somehow scares the shit out of me every fucking time. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... What are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slipped into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to, it's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book, but she has her head, in fact, in her bosom. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead. So sorry! I was just bathing in the blood of the innocents! Or whatever that just said. You really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's. Then I hold my book, more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It was like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to open the book. To keep the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page, huh? Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger, in the shape of an L on her forehead. And then I realize I can't read anything in the book. I can't read a single thing because her eye has in fact drifted over my eye, and now I can't see. And there's the computer in the background again. I wonder if that's important, that there's a computer in the background. I don't ever remember seeing a computer there unless I'm just fucking blind. It's probably always been there and I just never noticed. Ah. I did the same with my right arm. On the right side of my book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face, and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Huh? She starts singing, Are You Ready for Love? Let's turn the page. Oh, never mind. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I thought you were singing. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eye meets. Her other eye is actually in front of my eye. I can't see a damn thing. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. Ah, she got a little smile going on. That's cute. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, sure, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I am ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently lets go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. That's a yandere face if I've ever seen one. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things that she says and all that. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind, she totally doesn't have an eye that goes off her face or anything. We didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know why that came into my head. Yuri, are you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hands on her chest, as if she's feeling her own boobs. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? She's probably fixing her eye. Don't worry about it, Shinsuke. It's fine. Shinsuke? Something happened just now? Huh? I have no idea. Yuri was just acting a little strange, I guess. So you don't know anything, do you? Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing! Don't worry, I believe you, silly boy. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with one another? Huh? What happened? I thought you liked sharing bodies with each other. Oh, I changed. I'm different now. Oh, okay. Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I figured we'd just get started without her. Is that okay? Oh, yeah, I was just asking. I stand up. Make a mental note of where I left off in the book and then slip it back into my bag. Wah. Little mini yawn. Alright. Who should I shut? Let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get it out of the way. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. I lied. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. If you're not gonna take this club seriously, just go home. What? Harsh. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid, baka-chan, baka, bitch, baka? Do you think I'm basic? I'm not a writer, okay? Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort, so fuck you, you little bitch. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Huh? Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'll tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, it's each their own, I guess. I'm not gonna listen to anything that you tell me. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, and crickets can leap. Horses can race, and owls can see, cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly and people can try, but that's about it. That's about it. About it. I want breakfast. I want breakfast. Sorry, wrong song. Yeah. Told you were gonna like it, Baka. I like it, I guess. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? I swear I'm seeing things. I don't think it did happen, but I swear I saw something pass by the door, like the window of the door in the background for a second then. But knowing what's actually going on, I feel like that never happened and I'm just super anxious, and it was probably a fly in the actual room that I'm in. Just probably flew past the TV and I thought it was in the game. Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. People don't even try to take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yeah, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard like a dick. What? Nothing. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight into on the wordplay. Like, I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. Helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. Guess more went into it than I realized, huh? That's what it means to be a pro, baby. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect it from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is. Over 18, right, critters? What a lie. But if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Monika. Hi, Shinsuke. Having a good time so far? No! Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things that we can do better? I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Shinsuke. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I had Monika. My poem. Great job, Shinsuke. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. Not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low, I find. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing, though. Sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. Where the fuck is any of this coming from, Monika? That's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged in that. Like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri! Oh god, I thought it was gonna be a scare. I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, we all started sharing our poems with one another. Already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright. Thanks, Monika. I suppose I should get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. That's just because I have to sound confident. Doesn't mean I always feel that way, though, you know. I see. Well, let's read it, then. Okay, we have the glory hole poem again.
Hole in a wall. But he wasn't looking at me.
Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. I feel like this poem's different. I don't remember it being like that before. So what did you think? Huh, it's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for when it comes to feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? I'm not sure how to put it. Guess you could say I had a kind of epiphany recently. The epiphany was that I realized that Yuri's eye sometimes detaches from her face. It's kind of weird. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends of each other. Anyway, here's Monika's big tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain can get too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to put something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is like this. You keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. Just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Who should I show my poem to next? We went to Monika and did the writing tip of the day and all the stuff like that, and then we went to Yuri. That's weird. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten, and her eye actually stays attached to her face. Exceptional! What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a deep breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? The use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. It's actually my first time. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly and looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off. I know it's fine, an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something that you can be blamed for. There are many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. And I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well... Never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. It's certainly not Natsuki, because Natsuki's a bitch. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd like to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if it's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Alright. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. the last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers, and I flicker back. Quiet. I'm sorry to have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. It took you a long time to read. Ah. Well, I just don't read scripts very often. I actually think your handwriting is super pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Oh, so I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose, like a digestive biscuit. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Shinsuke. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did just glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought about that. That's impressive. Huh? It's nothing, really. Yours is impressive, too, so... Nah. If anything, I would probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Shinsuke. Ah, me too. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. It was a little more stressful than I anticipated, as if everyone is judging me by my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. Okay, that was the music going all weird. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. Guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. I don't like how suddenly the art just goes to the screen, because it makes me fucking nervous every time. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. Guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feelings of giving up. How can that be cute? I can ask the same thing about you, Natsuki. How can anyone find you cute? You're the worst. I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Huh? You mean you had to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. Huh. I was looking for suggestions. I would have asked someone who actually... Oh god, that was a hiccup. Who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Who? Who is the people who liked it? Was it Monika? That's the only person that could have liked it. She answered my question, fair enough. Monika liked it. And Shinsuke did too. Don't you speak for me, you little witch. I did not like it. It's based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless I, of course, come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Shinsuke liked my poem too, you know. Even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? Do you realize you're so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri? Huh? That's not what you just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Shinsuke appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Huh? What do you know how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you so full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I was the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Shinsuke started showing up. Natsuki! Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! So you can get your own insecurities on others like that. Oh god. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch. Edgy? So either my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See? You're just saying that proves my point. Most people need to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude, you little bitch. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Well, be careful, you might cut yourself and all that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad, you already do that, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Shinsuke hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after that. Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me as she noticed that I was standing there. Shinsuke, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Yuri. 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 Hi. Yuri. Fuck off, Natsuki. Oh. That is horrifying on a proper, a big screen TV. Hi. How you doing, Monika? You have nice eyes. Green's a lovely colour. Is this... Do I have to press A? Oh. I was just staring at her like awkwardly like, Yuri? This is... Oh, there we go. Alright, it wouldn't actually let me continue for a second then. Hey Shinsuke, why don't we step outside for a little bit? Oh, the text box moved. That was weird. Okay. Like, it went, like, to the left. Sorry about that. They, really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better that we just stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? Can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. Unless I'm stepping on them. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. Oh dear. Well, it looks like they're done at least. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about this by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should probably be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president. Sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Shinsuke. Embarrassing with you listening. Guess I don't really have a choice. Sorry for causing trouble. Oy. Fuck's sake. Alright, well, I'm gonna save and go to the dashboard because I don't fucking trust this game, and I'm gonna go cry for a while because I'm scared. But anyway, I'm gonna end the episode here for now. Things are getting real fucking kooky, and this is not the worst of what's to come, trust me. Oh god. Oh god. Anywho, feel free to hit the like button and all that the stuff and things. I'm also gonna I'm also planning to make a video on Literature Club Plus on It's Ocean, a review slash kind of, I guess, opinion piece video on this once I'm finished, so that should be pretty cool as well. That will come out a little bit later on though, because obviously I need to finish this game and do a bunch of stuff before I can actually make the video. But anyway, thank you for watching. I did that early. Oh well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Pip pip toodaloo!